I'm Toni Swinehart here with MCP's Full Court Press, brought to you by House of Flavors Incorporated. Today, we are braving a little bit of sprinkles out here at the new kayak launch located at the Ludington State Park. We are with Patrick O'Hare, who has been on the board of the Friends of Ludington State Park for the last almost 3 years, since 2019. And then Bob Sasin, who's been on the board since 2008. Is that what?
Something like that, yes. Say 9.
It's 2009. So this is something that was implemented. It's a handicap launch for kayak users. So thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out of your morning to be with us today. So how did this idea come about, and is it able to be used as of right now?
This was put in about 3 weeks ago. It's been used by individuals, and we're going to have an official presentation shortly to make it available for everybody at any time. It's good for individuals for kayaks, canoes, and also we're hoping that individuals who are with wheelchair will be able to use it too. It's designed for them as anybody else that needs assistance getting in or out of their canoes or kayaks.
So, Patrick, you were very instrumental in a lot of the funding. So how did all of the funding come about for this? How it was through donations and grants, right?
Yes, the Friends Group is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 that was established back in 1992, and it relies on its members and its donors to be able to partner with the Ludington State Park on improvements. And this kayak launch is the latest improvement. And so last year, in terms of in 2020, we decided in the fall that we would allocate some of the funds that we had been donated to us through the Brewfest celebrations that occurred in January of the prior years. So we allocated $5,000 towards this project with the goal of raising a total of $45,000 to fund this kayak launch, the concrete ramp that's adjacent to it. And so we started out last November putting out a call for donations, and by March we had exceeded our goal of $45,000.
Wonderful.
Which those extra dollars have allowed us to put a couple kayak racks that you can see here at the launch to make those available for staging of kayaks. We also had discussions with Jim Gelly in the Ludington State Park about doing a novice trail. I don't know if you're familiar, but there is a kayak canoe trail to the south of us, and it requires portages. And we thought if we're putting in a kayak launch, that a novice trail to the north would make sense. So one of our board members, Dave Hall, who's a pilot, took some aerial shots and he mapped it out, and he collaborated with Jim. And right now that trail is being reviewed by folks in the DNR in Lansing, and we're hoping it will be endorsed and approved. And then we'll have signage for that as well. So we exceeded the donations that we were looking to raise, and have actually then done more for this. And I want to stress, when we talk, and you mentioned in terms of the accessibility, it's not just for those that have mobility issues. Anyone that wants to be able to use this launch to be able to get in and out of their kayak and the water, and using a canoe, they can use a canoe as well, can do so. It'll probably it may very well be used more by able-bodied individuals. And one of the things when we talk about it being available now, when we were installing it in August and we had tools laying out here and so forth, we had a couple kayakers approach it, and I thought they were just like checking it out or whatever. And the next thing we knew, one of the kayakers had pulled himself right up on it and was getting out. And another kayaker went around the other side and came up on that side. And we were kind of laughing because we weren't done assembling it, and people were using it. So there are people that are familiar with these from other areas in the state, and hopefully soon the familiarity in terms of this one at the Ludington State Park will grow.
And I know that you have, other than the novice trail that you were mentioning, is there anything else in the works for the future?
We don't do anything in the Ludington State Park that isn't something that is on a plan with the Ludington State Park or the DNR. It has to be something that's endorsed and accepted by them. And so there are two projects. One is an action track chair. which you can think in terms of an electric wheelchair, I'll say on steroids, from the perspective of tracks that will allow it to traverse sand, will allow it to traverse trails and so forth, which will make the park that much more accessible for those that have mobility issues. And I think at present there are 6 parks in the state park system in Michigan that have action track chairs. And so we hope by next summer to have one here at the Ludington State Park. And one of the other projects that came about from a presentation that was done by the DNR, they were talking about inclusivity and accessibility. And one of the things they highlighted was those Seacoast viewers.
Okay.
You're familiar,
Yes.
with those?
Yes,
The old thing
I
that you
love
kind of used to
those.
put a quarter in and so forth.
Yes.
Well, we started talking, we're not looking to have one that requires any kind of monetary, a quarter being put in. But those devices have recently been enabled, if you add a feature for Enchroma, with an Enchroma lens that allows individuals that are colorblind to be able to use them and experience in terms of a visual experience that they otherwise would not have. And I did not know until this came about with the DNR that 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women are colorblind. Yes. And so as you probably have hiked at the state park, especially like in the fall, and you see the wonderful colors and so forth, to think that there are people that are not able to appreciate that. And through the use of the Seacoast Enchroma device, they'll be able to. And so we haven't picked the exact spot. The Ludington State Park employees have to determine where to place it, but it'll likely be on like one of the island trails in an area that will be not too, it's steel, so it doesn't necessarily fit in with the natural thing, but something that won't be obtrusive to seeing it within the park setting, but will be really accessible to anyone that wants to use that type of viewer. So those are 2 projects that we've initiated fundraising for both of those. And there's more information on our website, of course.
Okay. And that website is?
It's friendsofludingtonstatepark.org.
Okay. So, Bob, there's also many other things that the Friends of the Ludington State Park are involved in, and explain those.
Or part of it is the trails. We have people that volunteer and check the trails, and if there's anything that needs to be done on the trails, they let the staff know about that. We do the entertainment from Memorial to Labor Day at the different people in town here, which are local people and also out of town, doing entertainments on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Okay. We did the walkway from the beach house out to the water's edge. Okay. We do collect cans, returnable cans, which we have help from the state host people, and that for returnables. That's our funding that way. And just to let people know that there is things that we do here to help the park maintain it and try to stay number 1 in the nation. And it's not always just raising money, it's also helping out, and really appreciate it. And the staff here is just unbelievable. They're very cooperative with us to allow us to help them along. And then also in the wintertime, everybody keeps saying summer, we have the lantern event on Saturdays. Ellen, who's the park naturalist here, has snowshoeing twice a month, or I'm sorry, every Saturday, but every other Saturday in the evening at 5:30 to 8 o'clock, we have what they call snowshoe or cross-country skiing from the warming shelter to the amphitheater. And we have hot chocolate there and a bonfire just for people to get out and enjoy the winter here too.
And even if it's not snow.
Even if it's not snow, we're open.
All right, gentlemen, it's starting to rain a little bit more. But again, thank you for your time this morning and in explaining all of that, because it's wonderful, I think, for a lot of people to know that you're about a lot more than just, you're getting things done, which is a wonderful help. Our state park is always one of the top ranked, not only in the state of Michigan, but also in the nation. And that's probably one of the major reasons why. So it's appreciated, especially for me. And for more news, go to MasonCountyPress.com.